Well, good day to you, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing here today. I hope you're here to learn because I'm here to teach. My name is Aaron, and I am the co-founder and product manager here at Planning Center. And today, we are going to learn all about worship planning in Planning Center services. We teach a lot of Planning Center University courses, and today's is specifically about worship planning for people that have used services at least a little bit. We do have some other Planning Center University courses, even on services, one that is for getting started. So if you're somebody who wants to see a brand new blank account, teach it to me from the very beginning, you're going to want to watch that other Planning Center University course. There's also one all about scheduling. Today, we're going to talk just a tiny bit about scheduling in terms of how it overlaps with worship planning and talk about song, media management, planning your order of service, and scheduling your worship teams. We're going to do today in 3 steps. We're going to start kind of with a quick tour of all the different things that services sort of offers, kind of like the main navigation of the system. Then we're going to go into a timeline. As a worship leader, kind of what order should you use these features in? Like when you come to work on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, what should you do first? So we're going to go through a timeline of kind of how a worship leader might do this. And then at the end, we're going to talk about some extra ways to be organized. That is one of my favorite topics. Now, the most important thing that you can learn in this entire training is where to get help. At the top right of every Planning Center screen is your avatar, and right underneath that is a question mark. When you tap this question mark, it's going to open our Help Center. And our Help Center is going to suggest different articles that you can read. It will allow you to type any question if you want to, like how do I transpose audio? And it will give you articles that show you how to do that. And then if you don't find the answer to your question, you can open a ticket with Planning Center support. Now, our support team is amazing, and they answer all of the questions that you email in within 1 business hour. 1 hour. So if you write in a ticket right now, you will get your answer before I'm even finished teaching this class. So you or anyone on your team can take advantage of that free support using our Help Center icon. Now, after this class is over, feel free to send it to anybody. These courses are free to watch, to send on to anyone else. You can watch them at any time from planningcenter.com/university. Now that setup is out of the way, let's get started learning about worship planning in services. So the first thing we're going to do is go through a tour of what services actually is. So, as you know, you're going to plan your worship services and schedule your volunteers. Now, when your volunteers log in, they're going to go to a page called My Schedule. Now, they are probably going to do that using our services mobile app. Most volunteers are going to access services mostly through the mobile app. So during this tour, I'm going to show you both of them side by side so you can kind of get an idea that you can do almost all the same things no matter if you're on desktop or on the mobile app for iOS or Android. So once you have sent a request, people are going to log in and they're going to be on the schedule page. This schedule page shows people everything they have been requested to do. So you'll see here, I've got a pending request. I've been asked to serve on February 18th, sound on the tech team, and I can click accept or decline there, and I can do that on the mobile app as well. Underneath, I've got any plans that I have already confirmed for. So this just shows you all the things in your schedule, but it gives you ways to reach out to your team leaders as well. You'll see at the top is an Add Blockout button. I'm going to click that on the website here, and I'm going to say, you know what? On December 25th through the 31st, I'm going to be gone on a family trip. And so I'm just going to save that block out so that if my team leader tries to schedule me, they already know that I'm gone. And now you'll see over here on this little calendar, my block out is showing on those dates. There are also buttons to email your team leaders. So if you want to ask a question of anybody who is a leader of one of your teams, you can click that button either on the web or desktop and send that over to them. So that is the My Schedule page, and this is where most of your volunteers are going to spend most of their time. Now, next up, what if you are the planner and you need to create a plan? You haven't been scheduled for it because it doesn't even exist yet. Well, you are going to go to the Plans tab. So the Plans tab up here on the website or down here on the app, we can switch to the tab and we can see different folders that we have. And I'm going to go into one of my campuses. I've made folders for the different campuses at this demo church. It is very geographically diverse here because it's a demo. So we'll go into San Diego. And here is where we see our contemporary service. And here are all of the plans that I have already made for the contemporary service. Next up, in addition to the plans page, we've got our different libraries. So the songs library is where you are going to see all the songs that anyone in your church does. And there are ways to filter these songs, find the right songs, see when they're scheduled. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. The next tab is the media tab. This is any videos or documents or drama scripts or any other kind of file that you want to share over and over again that isn't a song, you can organize into your media library. And then finally, we have our people page. These are all the people that are serving in some capacity at this church. And by default, it's showing you the people that are on teams that you lead. I have 52 people on teams that I lead, but you can do filtering on here and see all the other people as well. So this is kind of a general overview of the main tabs, but there is one extra little place that we can go, and that is our profile page. The profile page is accessed by clicking on your avatar at the top right of the web or the app, and that will go into all the information about you. And this is especially on the mobile app where you can update your contact information. If I were to hit edit up there, or on the website, if I click this actions button and hit edit profile, it would allow me to update my email address or my phone number to make sure that my church has all the right information to contact me whenever they need to. Now, the one thing I didn't show you is kind of the main part of Planning Center, and that is an individual plan. So when I go to my February 18th plan here, this is a plan page. And the plan page is got almost everything that you need to do your planning in here. So it is broken up into the order of service. Here are all of the items and songs that we're doing in this February 18th plan for you or your team members to see. We've also got the teams section. Team shows all the people that are scheduled on this plan, and this might be on teams that you care about. For me, it's the tech and the vocals. And then there are also other teams that I might not necessarily be responsible for, but they're still being scheduled. So I can see just those teams, or I can see all of the other teams that are happening at this particular plan. We've got the Rehearse tab, and this is where your team members can go on the website to access all of their chord charts or audio files so that they can rehearse all that music before they get to church. And the main thing that you're going to want to see here is the media player. So if you have audio files for your songs, you can tap on the media player on the app or on the website, and you're going to load a playlist of all of the different songs that you are doing in this particular plan. Now, on this plan, I actually have a lot of audio files for all of my songs, so it's a little bit distracting right now, but I'll explain that later. So here, this mobile app is what I use to rehearse. I open this in my car. This pairs with my car. I listen to my music. I can skip through all the different tracks that we're doing on here and listen to the music and be prepared for rehearsal. The last thing here on a plan is the times section. So times are when you are doing your specific service, and I've got my service times over here, and we also have rehearsal and other times for this particular plan. Now, if you or anyone on your team happen to serve at multiple churches. This is kind of a thing that is more common on worship teams, where somebody might get asked to sub on their instrument for another church from time to time. You can link your accounts from multiple churches together. The easiest way to do that on the mobile app is to go to your profile in the top right, or on the website. You can click on your avatar here, and you can tap on the name of the church that you're logged into right here. And I can see I'm in Centerville Church, but there's a button to link another account. Now, when you link multiple accounts together, when you go to the My Schedule page, it will actually show you your plans that you've been scheduled for across all of your different churches. If you block out dates, it will allow you to block out dates across multiple churches if you want to, or you can say, nope, this blockout is just for this one church. So linking accounts together is a great way to keep everything that you are involved with in one place. Now, that was our quick tour. Let's move on into setting up a plan and a service. On our main plans page, I have multiple folders here because this demo church has multiple campuses. Or you might have a lot of different ministries and you don't want to show 10 different ministries on one page. You want to organize those into folders. So I'm going to go into the San Diego folder and I can see here I have 3 different service types in this folder: my contemporary, traditional, and the midweek service. I have other ones as well, but those are in subfolders. So I have other plans in my children's ministries, special events, and student ministries folders. If you're just getting started, don't worry about folders. Once you have a lot of service types and you want to organize those better, then you can move them into folders at any time. One of the things that can be confusing is, what is a service type? And the reason this is confusing is because of how it overlaps with times. If your church has a contemporary service that happens at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., both of those are the contemporary service, then it's one service type. It is the contemporary service. It just happens at 2 different times. But our contemporary service has a whole different order of service than our traditional service. We do different songs, different things in that service. The midweek service, a Celebrate Recovery service, a children's ministry service, all of those are different service types, even if you do them at multiple times. You can add all those multiple times into your one service type. Now, when you are getting started in services, you might be thinking, I just am ready to put my teams in. I want to schedule my teams. An important thing to know is that teams belong to service types. So you can't just create a band. You have to create the contemporary service first, and then you can create a band within the contemporary service and a vocal team within the contemporary service. That allows you to have the contemporary service band and a traditional service band or worship team or whatever your teams are going to be called. So teams exist within your service types. Actually, lots of things exist within service types. And if I move my mouse all the way over here to the right next to this gear here, you're going to see the different things that are part of a service type. There are settings, teams, templates, and then different reports. I'm not going to go into those right now, but I just wanted to show you all the different kinds of things that make up a service type. I'm going to expand my contemporary service by clicking the down arrow, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how times interact with service types and even with templates. So let's go into the last plan in our service type, May 26th, and we're going to look at our order and our times. So I want to pay attention because what we really want to do is we're going to make some new plans in a second. But before I make new plans, it's important to know that when you make a new plan, what it does is it looks at the last plan and it looks at all of those times and then it copies those times 1 week into the future. If your service type is weekly, you can change it to be weekly or monthly or some other things, but usually your services are weekly. So when I make a new plan, it's going to go into this May 26th plan and it's going to look and it's going to say, oh, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Sunday. And here are all my call times, prayer, rehearsals, run-throughs, and it's going to move those 1 week later. So let's go back out to my main plans page. We'll scroll down to the bottom of my list of plans here, and let's click Add Plan. So we are going to add a month worth of plans. So I'm going to say 4 plans. Now it's going to copy times from that plan we were just in, that May 26th. You could change this if you want, if the times in that one are not good, but times in another one are good. And then we're going to say, okay, well, what plan is this for? It knows that after May 26th, June 2nd is the next one for me, so that's great. I'm going to leave that there. So here are the plans it's going to make for me: June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, and June 23rd. Now, when I make new plans, I can automatically have templates imported into those plans by default. And so it's going to give me that option here, and it's just choosing the first template in my list, but I actually want a different template for each one of these. I have teams that rotate. So I have some teams serve on the 1st and the 3rd week of the month, and some teams that serve on the 2nd and 4th week of the month. So I've already actually organized those into templates. So let's choose the right ones. Well, June 2nd would be the 1st week of the month. June 9th would be the 2nd week of the month, all teams weeks 2 and 4. And then also this last one is all teams weeks 2 and 4. Now these are all the templates that I have, and we'll talk a little bit more about those later, because you can import templates right now when you're creating the plan, but you can also import them later. So if you do the wrong thing now, or you want to import more templates, no big deal. You can do that anytime that you want to. So I've chosen my rotating templates, and I'm going to click Add 4. It is now going to create those plans, and it's going to take me into the first one, this June 2nd template, and it's going to have applied this all teams weeks 1 and 3 template onto this June 2nd plan. If I go over to my Teams tab, you're going to see all the people that I had in that template are in this plan. I didn't have to do anything. All the times that I had for that May 26th have now been duplicated for 1 week later for June 2nd on the right days, Sunday, Thursday, Friday. There. Now let's take a look just a little bit more at times. Times are one of the things that can trip people up the most, so let's take a look. As I mentioned before, your service might happen at more than one time. In this contemporary service, we have a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m. contemporary service. So I have 2 separate service times in this plan. We also have rehearsal times and other times. These are things that are not the service, but are times that you want to assign people to. You want Planning Center to know, hey, these people are busy on Friday night at 7 p.m. for band rehearsal, so that if somebody else tries to book them Friday night at 7 p.m., it says, sorry, they're at band rehearsal. They can't do this other thing because they're already busy. So when we go into these times, first of all, you could click this Add button at the top here to make a new time. But since I already have some, I'm just going to click on band rehearsal here. So it is not a service time, it's a rehearsal time. So I've named this rehearsal time band rehearsal. It's from 7 to 8:30 on Friday night on June 2nd. And who should be there? The band should be there. The band is the assigned teams. Now here's one of the things that people get mixed up a lot. I see times that have things like this on here, where I go into the band rehearsal and I see assigned teams, band, hospitality, first impressions. Well, that's weird. The hospitality team, our ushers and greeters, they should not be at the band rehearsal. So these teams should not be assigned to the band rehearsal. So you want to make sure that all your times are assigned to the correct teams. So I'm going to get rid of hospitality and first impressions and only assign the band to this team. The reason why, first of all, it's going to block those people out for this time. From 7 to 8:30, all of those people would have a conflict. But not only that, when Planning Center emails them, when it shows them their schedule, if they subscribe to their calendar in their own calendar program, there's going to be a band rehearsal on it Friday night from 7 to 8:30. You might think, oh, my ushers know that they don't have to be at the band rehearsal. Well, the problem is you're teaching your people that the information from Planning Center is not to be trusted. Planning Center says these are your times. And then you're saying, those aren't all your times. I just set it up wrong. So you want to make sure that you set things up right so that people can trust that the information in Planning Center is correct. So make sure that your assigned teams are the right ones. And then finally here, you can set reminders for your teams. Now, you don't want to do this if your team members are the same every single week. If your band is always the same, don't send them a reminder. That's annoying. Instead, this is for teams who rotate different people sort of on a sporadic schedule. My band is different every single week, or I choose different people and there's no predictability in how often they're scheduled. Cool. Well, then when it is time for them to be scheduled, send them a reminder email at the beginning of that week so they don't forget. So right here, I can say the band should get a reminder email, let's say on Monday of that week. 4 days before this Friday rehearsal, they're going to get an email that says, reminder, you have been scheduled for band this week. So I will save that. And now my times are set up correctly. We have kind of a new feature as well that you can, when reminder emails are sent, you can actually include other customized text in those reminder emails. So if you want to customize your reminders, you can do that now. And that is using a feature called Plan Notes. So I'm going to collapse this time section by just clicking on it, and we're going to open up our notes section here. I don't have any notes for this plan because it's brand new. If you have information that you want your team to know that doesn't necessarily go with like any particular item in the service, let's say, for instance, the choir needs to know that they are wearing blue this week. Choir wears blue. You don't want to send that only in an email and force them to keep that email forever or write it down somewhere else. If this is important information about this plan, save it as a plan note. So this is assigned to the choir. So I'm going to save that. Now you're going to see this choir note here. And if there are any reminder emails for the choir, these choir notes will be included in those reminder emails. If you have band notes, hey, we normally do this song with an extra bridge in the middle, but we're splicing a different worship chorus in the middle. Make sure you take a listen to that. Something that they might miss. You might add that as a plan note for the band so that they can see that and refer back to it. Wait, Aaron said something was different about this plan. I don't remember what it is, and I deleted that email. You want Planning Center to be the source of truth for everything. So any of that information, make sure that you put in as a plan note. Okay, let's talk about a timeline of what you should do as someone who's doing worship planning. When you get to work on Monday, what order should you do your features in? Well, the first thing you should do is schedule far ahead. You should schedule at least 1 month out. Your people have lives of their own. They need to coordinate their serving schedule with all the rest of their schedule. So send them the schedule way out, even before you have any of the songs picked. That is totally fine. You can put those in later. So what we're going to do is go to the People page. I am already filtering to the teams I lead. So I'm now going to click the email button to email my 52 people. And I am going to change the email template to the Planning Center Blockout request. So about 1 week before I start to schedule, I'm going to send out this Blockout request that says, hey, I'm getting ready to do my next round of scheduling from, clicked in the wrong spot, next round of scheduling from January through March. If you have any dates you know you'll be unavailable, click the buttons down here. So they can click a button to block out dates or to even click I have no blockouts. So you're going to send that email first, then wait about a week. You can come to the People page at any time and see if anyone has set blockouts. This last set blockouts column right here shows you the last time people have set them or the last time they clicked that button in the email I just showed you that says I have no blockouts. That helps you know, okay, they didn't just ignore the email, they just didn't have any blockouts. If they click that button, it will put a timestamp on here and it'll say, oh, Aaron clicked that button at 10:55 a.m. On what is today? I don't know, December 1st? I'm not sure. And that will put that on this list. So after you do that a week ahead of time, you're going to then come back here and click the filter, and you can go to dates and say, I want to find people who last set their blockouts. Either they've never set their blockouts or they set them the last time they did it was before I asked. So I will choose a date, a week ago, and it will apply that filter. And now I'm getting people who still have not sent those blockout dates. It's not 52 people, because remember at the beginning of this training, I set a blockout date. So me, I'm the one nice person who is now filtered out because I've set a blockout today. But now you can prod those people, you can email them again, or you can at least know who has not set their blockout dates. Then it's time to do some scheduling. So we'll go to the plans page, and instead of going to a plan, we're going to go to the matrix. So if we click on the matrix button up here, this is going to load a lot of plans. Woo! Look at that animation, beautiful animation into the matrix here. The matrix is going to show us multiple plans here, side by side, and so we can see July 5th, August 21st, and we can see all of our different plans that we want to plan out. So the first thing that I would do is go in here, and I'm going to look at my band. I'm going to close some of these other teams here. I'm going to look at my band in this list, and I would fill in my needed position. So I need another electric player over here. I'll click one needed, and I'm going to choose Beth for this, and we will add her there. I'll fill in all my needed positions there. Another way that I might do that is using auto schedule. So I'm going to look at my tech team here. I've got all these different positions that are needed across my different tech teams here. So I'm going to click this button at the very top right for auto schedule. And I'm going to choose my tech teams in here. They're already chosen. Let's just say tech. And when I submit, this is going to go through all of these needed positions, and it's going to choose the best person for the job. Basically, people that don't have any conflicts, and then it's going to choose the person who has not served in the longest amount of time. That's auto scheduling. There's a lot of different ways to schedule. I'm not going to talk about the rest of them because we have a whole PCU on scheduling. But once you've got your month of your schedule lined up, then you're going to click the email button up here, and you're going to send out emails for all the plans that you have just made. So I would say, yep, I want to send out my tech and my band schedules. I choose both of those teams. I'm going to click next. I could choose any of my scheduling emails, and then I would send those requests. I'm not going to do that right now, but that would clear out all of these little email icons, and now everyone has been scheduled for those plans. After you've done your monthly scheduling, now it's time to do your weekly planning. So let's go into a plan. I'm going to go back to my main plans page, and we're going to go to this new plan that I've done nothing in yet, this June 2nd plan. So let's talk about a few ways to rapidly assemble an order of service. So we can click to add our first item here, and I can type walk in slides. I'm going to hit tab on my keyboard to go to the next little length field, type 20 minutes, and then I'm just going to hit enter, and that's going to submit this, close that little drawer, and I've got walk-in slides for 20 minutes. There are other ways to add items as well. My favorite way is this little plus icon, which is for quickly adding items. If you already know what you want to do in this service, this is the fastest way to get things in. So let's click this little plus icon. It adds a blank row to the service here. And I am going to add the message here. So I'm going to type message, and that's 30 minutes. So I'm just going to type 30M and hit enter. It figured out that 30 minutes was the minutes, and it added it there. Now, you know what? I actually want a header above that message. So, oh, look, down here, there's a little key. S space is for song, M space is for media. H space is for header. Okay, so I'm going to type H space. Ooh, nice. And then message, enter, and it made a message header for me. I'm going to drag that above the message now to reorder it. Now, actually, I kind of want to plan a whole worship set above the message. So I'm going to drag this blank item up here, and I'm going to continue to quick add, but from this spot instead. So I'm going to add a header, H space, worship set, enter. Now let's try S space for song. Nice. What song do I want? I want This Is Amazing Grace, and it is searching my entire songs database. This is Amazing Grace is highlighted. Great, so I'm just going to hit enter. It's choosing the key that I have done the most recently, which is B flat. But if I want a different one, I can use my arrow keys and just select a different one. Let's do A flat. Enter. And I'm ready for my next item here. Let's do S space. What a beautiful name. I'll just type beautiful. There we go. What a beautiful name. I'll hit enter. Yep, let's do a different arrangement of this. The worship initiative in D. We'll hit enter there. And it brings in that song and all the files related to that song. So this quick add is such a fast way to assemble your worship order if you already know what songs that you're going to be doing. Now, I'm going to hit done on here because I'm done quick adding. And now let's actually click on one of these items. Let's click on This Is Amazing Grace, and you'll see a drawer pops out over on the right. This has all of the details for this item in the service. So I can see how long it is. I could type in a description if I wanted to. I can see that it's linked to this song in my database. And I can see all these different categories of notes. And you can customize these if you want using the gear down here to edit these categories. But these are the categories that kind of come with it. And we have a person category that shows who is doing this thing. Now, I'm going to close this drawer now, because there's ways to see some of those things actually here without even opening the drawer, and that is with our column chooser. So at the top right of this table, or almost any table, we can click and we can say, oh, I actually want to view columns for the person. Oh, and there it is. So now I'm actually seeing who is doing each one of these things. And I can say the message is Pastor Allen. And I can just type right in there instead of having to open it up and go over into that drawer. Now, let's look at the walk-in slides here, and let's actually take a look at the lengths here. We've got a 30-minute message, about 10 minutes of music, so that should be a 40-minute service. But my total down here says 59. Well, that's because it's including the walk-in slides as like part of my service. But the walk-in slides don't happen during the service. They happen before the service starts. So let's click on walk-in slides. And we can see over here, this is 20 minutes during all. Well, that's not right. It's not during. It's before. Once we click before, now look, automatically, now my service order is only 39 minutes because it is not including this 20-minute pre-service item is no longer calculated in my total service length. There are some other ways to add things into your service order. So let's go to this Add menu up here. And I'm going to add a few songs. I don't know which songs I want to add, though. I want Planning Center to help me browse my songs. Now, I do know that I don't want them at the end. I want them in my worship set. So if I just click, it will add it to the end. So instead of clicking, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drag this little handle where it says song, and I'm going to put this, let's just say, right here in my worship set. I don't know what song it's going to be yet, but it's going to be one of these, and it's going to go there. So here's my whole song library. I can use any of my filters that we'll talk about later to narrow these songs down. Or I can just search through these and find a song that I want and click it and it will add it. But what if I want to add multiple songs? I can actually, at the very top right here, it says option click, or there's a little button to add multiple. So I'm just going to click this add multiple. And notice now, there are checkboxes next to each one of these. If I want to do Your Love Never Fails, and then Oceans, And then let's say open up the heavens. Oh, it chose A flat, but that's not what I want. I actually want this in B flat. Great, chose that. It's gonna now give me a button to add 3. When I click this button, all 3 of those songs get added in the order that I clicked them and have all the information that is set correctly there. So that's a really quick way to add multiple songs to your service. In this song drawer, we can add new songs as well. What if you're browsing that list and there's a song that you want to do that is not in here, like, oh, that's a new song we haven't added? No sweat. You could go to your songs page, your songs library, but you don't have to. You actually can add a new song right from here. So let's click New, and I want to do the song Who You Say I Am. Who You Say. So I'm going to search, and there are 2 different databases you can search. Recordings, popular recordings of this song, and these are provided by multitracks.com. Or you can search for things that maybe don't have a recording. Maybe they do, but it's ones that who knows if they have recordings or not. These are songs, this database is provided by CCLI. So it's a more comprehensive list of songs because not all of them are even recorded. I'm going to stay with my popular recordings because I want to do this Hillsong Worship version of Who You Say I Am. So I'm going to click this. Now, because it is getting this information from Multitracks, they've got a whole bunch of information there, including what key it's normally in, the beats per minute, tempo, yeah, that's the same thing, and a whole bunch of other information. I'm going to customize some. It's originally in G flat. I think I do want to play it in that key, but I better have a capo or my musicians will go on strike, at least the acoustic guitar player will. So let's go and add a capo in E here. I've integrated with some of my song integrations for song select, lyrics, and chord charts. So I'm going to choose all of those items, and we're going to click Submit here. So behind the scenes, it made a new song. It asked Multitracks about that song. It has imported that song, and it's now added that song to my plan. Now, it's going to be importing those files that go along with this song over the next couple of minutes, and the next time I come back, the files will also be here. But so now I've got Who You Say I Am added to this plan, and I've just added a new song right from the plans page. Let's talk about some advanced things that you can do in the order of service. One of the things that we talked about earlier is when you have multiple times in your service. And as you saw earlier, we have a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m. time. Now, these service times actually give you some extra planning abilities. So in our column chooser for the order of service, I have options to turn on columns for 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. So I have chosen those. And now I'm seeing what time each of these items is planned to occur at each one of those services. And it uses the length, and look, notice your 11 Never Fails has no length in it, so there's no time in between all of these things. So what if your 9 o'clock and your 11 o'clock services are mostly the same, but a little bit different? Do you need to create 2 totally separate services if you're doing a baby dedication only in one of those, but everything else is the same? No, you don't. Oh, surprise, tricked you. You thought I was going to say yes. No. So what we're going to do is add a baby dedication to this plan. I'm going to go up to my add menu, and wait a second, slight tangent. I was just going to click item here, but I noticed these little letters over to the side, IHSM. Those seem like shortcut keys. Could they be shortcut keys? Well, I do declare they might be. So what would happen if I just hit the I on my keyboard? Let's put my mouse, I don't know, right here over the message, and let's hit I. Heavens to Betsy. It has added a new item right where I typed that shortcut key. I can instantly type baby dedications and add this 5 minutes, enter. Oh, shortcut keys. You can get rid of that mouse. You never need to use that finger again. You can need that to type. So don't cut the finger off. You're going to need it. But you don't have to use it on the mouse or the trackpad. You can use shortcut keys for everything. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So I've just added this baby dedications. Let's get away from this tangent and go back to how do we have baby dedications in just one service? Well, now that I have this 9 and 11 a.m. column viewed here, if these baby dedications are only happening at 9 o'clock, I kind of want to get rid of this at the 11 o'clock service. Well, I'm just going to hover over that time and click exclude. Let's exclude the baby dedications from the 11 o'clock service. And it did it. Notice, sorry, I didn't save the time here. Sorry, 5 minutes. That gasp was for naught because there was no time, so you saw no magic happening. Let's get back to the magic. Now that there actually is a length baby dedications, we've got the 9 a.m. service ends at 9:55, but the 11 a.m. service ends at 11:50 because there's 5 minutes less in this plan because we've excluded the baby dedications from the 11 a.m. service. Now, if you have baby dedications also in the 11 a.m. service, but they're at different length, let's say they are 10 minutes in that service, let's add a second baby dedications, and we'll just exclude that one from the 9 a.m. service. So now I've got one in the 9 a.m. service, it's 5 minutes, and one in the 11 a.m. service, that is 10 minutes, and each of these service time lengths are calculated correctly. Now, what's great about this, when you print your plans, let's go up to the print icon at the top here. This print icon, I'm going to print this as a web page, and I'm going to say just print the 9 a.m. service. When I hit submit here, it only has that baby dedications that's 5 minutes. It's completely omitting the one in the 11 a.m. service that's 10 minutes long because I'm only printing out the 9 a.m. time. So this is a way that you can print out plans, two different orders from the same plan by using this excluding times feature. Okay. After you have put your service order together, the next step in your timeline is rehearsing. There are quite a few ways to rehearse. We mentioned earlier that the mobile app and the media player in the mobile app is probably one of the best ways to rehearse. If you want to rehearse on the website, there is a rehearse tab. And this rehearse tab shows you all the songs, and then when you select a song, it's going to show you all the related files for that particular song. So over here on the right for What a Beautiful Name, I've got my chord chart, I've got the original audio mix, and it even shows me some of my notes here. Now, instead of getting one chord chart at a time, you might want to use our songbook feature. So at the top of the rehearse tab is the media player, which is going to load all the audio for the whole set, or the songbook button, which is going to load all of the chord charts for the whole set. It's going to compile them into one PDF and download one songbook PDF that has all of the music for this particular plan in it. And then the next thing over here is called Music Stand. Music Stand is an add-on to Planning Center Services that is an additional monthly fee, and it is used primarily on a tablet, so either on an iPad or Android device, and you run it either just during rehearsals or maybe during rehearsals and your services, and it provides a very focused view of your music. You want to see? I bet you do. Why else would you be watching this video tutorial if you didn't want to see? So I'm going to show you a version of Music Stand on this tablet. Let's see, except for I got locked out of it. Yes, I knew the password. That was a harrowing experience. This is not my iPad. Okay, so I've got Music Stand loaded here. My February 18th plan is here. It's a different plan than this. And it's got a nice big order of service so that I can see that from far away. Here's This Is Amazing Grace. I can just tap on any of these things, and it's going to show me the sheet music that we have uploaded, whether it be a chord chart or a lead sheet. I can swipe to go between pages, to go between all the different songs in the set. I can take notes on my music. So I can tap anywhere on the screen. I can tap on our annotation toolbar, and this will allow me to see different tools. I can add text into this and add text. I can also draw on the screen with my finger with a highlighter or different notes that I can do there. And those notes are saved for each individual person. So when I do Raise a Hallelujah again, I did this a few weeks ago, when I come back to it, all my notes are there. You can share your notes with other people. There is an audio player. The media player is built into this so that you can listen to your music and scrub through it while you're looking at the chord chart. You can use a foot pedal, a wireless foot pedal, and when you tap on the foot pedal, it will change pages automatically for you. You can even have multiple people sync their devices together wirelessly so that when one person turns the page, everybody's pages turn automatically. There's a metronome built into it. There's so much cool stuff built into Music Stand. And this, like I said, is an additional monthly fee. Depending on what your package already is for Planning Center, it's either $2 a month for everyone, $5 a month, or $10 at the most. And so even just our biggest accounts, for an extra $10 a month, everyone in your account can use Music Stand. Great way to rehearse your music at home or even play through that stuff on Sunday. Music Stand is kind of like an add-on app. We have another, it's almost like a full application that you can use that is not an add-on, it's actually included, and it is called Planning Center Live. So we've just finished rehearsing. Now it's time to actually do the service. Some people might still use Music Stand, but other people, someone in your sound booth, might want to keep tabs on everything that's going on. So we're going to go into, I'm going to actually go to a different plan here. We're going to go to my February 18th plan. And at the top of the order, I have this little icon here, and I can go into Services Live. So I'm going to click on Live. This takes me into a whole separate view of this plan. And people can be viewing this on multiple screens on their phones to sort of keep tabs on what is exactly happening right now. So I am going to click to take control of this plan. Now I am in control. Usually this is somebody at the sound booth, and when it's time to start our walk-in slides, they're going to hit start. That 20-minute countdown is now going because walk-in slides started. I can see next up, the service is going to start. This is Amazing Grace. So I can click next when it's time to do that. I can see that. I can see the notes that I've added for that. I can see what's coming up next. And not only can I see it, but anybody else who has Live open can see it. I'm going to take out my phone here and show you that as well. So let's go into this February 18th plan. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom here, and I'm going to go to Services Live. This is going to open a view of Services Live. It will be synced up. That timer is synced exactly up to This is Amazing Grace. Now, when I click on the website to go next, you're going to notice it updates the mobile device exactly the same time. Now, let's say Raise a Hallelujah, we did a prayer in the middle, and it's actually going to take a little bit longer than this. Let's say it's going to take 10 more minutes. I can click up here in the timer, and I can say, this is actually going to take 10 more minutes, and I can hit enter, and that updates everyone else so that even when things don't go according to plan, you can update everybody in real time. Now, there are also other views of Live. So this is the phone view. I'm going to put the phone down. We're going to be done with the phone. If people are looking at Live on a TV screen in another room, they might look not just at the normal layout, but maybe at this full screen overview. So it's all still synced up to the same data, but they don't need to see all of that information. They just want to see the timer and maybe what's happening now and then what's coming up next. There's a lot of other views that you can look at here, and you can change the timers, and you can go light mode and dark mode on this as well. So Planning Center Services Live is a way to keep track of everything that is happening in your service all on time. we're going to talk about organizing your songs in Planning Center services. On the songs page, this is where you're going to see all the songs in your entire library. And the first thing you're probably going to want to do is set up some song integrations. Because when you start a Planning Center account, there are no songs in it. You have to tell us what songs you want to do. But if you use some popular services, I'm going to click Song File Integrations here, and you'll see which those are. If you use either Multitracks, Praise Charts, or Song Select, we have integrations with those companies so that if you want to do a song and they have files for it, it will just automatically bring those song files over. So you would want to come in here, and these would say enable, but now I've already actually put my name and password in for all three of these services, so that's why they say enabled. I've already hooked it up. You would want to come here and just connect your Planning Center account with any of these services so that adding songs is a snap. Okay, we're going to go into the song that we created earlier, Who You Say I Am. So let's actually add a little search here, a text filter, Who You Say, and hit enter. There it is. Let's go to Who You Say I Am. And we have got this Hillsong Worship version of this. This is the first arrangement of this song. You can have multiple arrangements of songs and keep the files separate with them. So let's actually add a new arrangement of this. So I'm going to click the Add button under Arrangements. And I'm going to, you know what, the one I want to do is not even recorded. It's just like, I want to do an acoustic kind of stripped down version of this. So I'm just going to type acoustic, and I'm going to click this green Create It. It's not an arrangement that exists. I'm making my own here. I'm going to do this in the key of D, and I am going to import the lyrics from Song Select, and now I'm going to click Submit. So it makes a new arrangement, the acoustic arrangement. You'll see both arrangements are tabs over here to the left, and it has made that. Now, I already have created my own chord chart, and I recorded a little demo of this acoustic version, and I want my people to be able to get to it. So I already have those files. I can just drag those files right onto the screen. So let's go over to my desktop here. Here are those files. I'll select them, and then I'm just going to drag them either onto the arrangement or the key. I'm going to say these are both in the key of D, so I'm going to click and put them in the key of D. So you see it uploads those files pretty quickly, and now both of those files are uploaded and available anytime I do this acoustic arrangement in the key of D. What if I want to do it in C? Oh, is that asking too much? Another key? Yes, it is possible. So we can put audio and chord charts both in any key. So I'm going to hover over this audio file, and I'm going to click the transpose icon here. It has a little plus and minus next to the note. And I'm going to transpose it from D, which is what it's in right now, to C. Planning Center knows it should go down because that's closer. And I'm just going to hit transpose. First of all, it makes a new key of C for me. Up here, it tells me it is preparing the transposition of that. Oh, it's already transposing it now. And usually within about a minute or so, that song is going to be transposed, and it's going to pop up into the key of C. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does it sound like? Well, those files are the same tempo, but the vocals are going to sound a little bit weird if you go low, and a little bit like chipmunks if you go high, but it's still at the same tempo, and you can still rehearse it along. You just might have, James Earl Jones, Mufasa sings Worship, which is kind of a cool vibe, if you ask me. So these are still great for people to rehearse to, and if you're not transposing it very far from D to C, you're barely going to notice the difference. And now your team members can actually play or sing along in the key that you're going to be doing it in. So transpose those files whenever you can. We can also transpose chord charts. What? Now, PDF files are more like a picture of a file. We can't transpose a picture. But if you put your chord charts in as text, we can figure out what the chords are and we can transpose them. So let's actually click right here next to lyrics and chords. Not next to, let's click on the button that says lyrics and chords. And this is going to take you into our chord chart editor. Over here on the left is where I can type. And over here on the right is a preview of what the chord chart's going to look like. So right now I just have the lyrics in there. If I wanted to put some chords in, first I'm going to type this in the key of D. So I'm going to say, who I am at the highest king, G, D over F sharp, and then G again, D again, sorry. So those might not be the right chords. I'm just making this up on the spot. But these chords are now figured out and they're put in bold over here and will be transposable to any key. Let me show you that. Right now, we are viewing this in the original key, so it's not that impressive. You're like, oh, it shows you what you type. How innovative this software program is. Okay, just wait. What if I click another button? So if I click up here from original key, and let's view this in E flat. Boom, instantly it figures out what those chords were, and it put them in E flat. Okay, now you're impressed, at least just a little bit. I can see you through the screen. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, but you can also put chords in between words, and but what if I wanted to do that here and I wanted to have like an E minor 7 here? There's not really much room for it. Well, there's another way to put chords in, and that is called Chord Pro. So on the second line, I'll say D inside of square brackets. I was lost, but he brought in, oh, his, let's see, G, love, D over F sharp, and then let's even put an E minor 7 in there because we are living on the edge, baby. And then we'll get a D there at the end. Oops. So these chords we've written in line with the lyrics, but our chord chart editor has put them above and even adds space where the lyrics need space in order for the chords to have room. There. So this is Chord Pro, and now that I have this, I wrote this in the key of D, but when I go back to my arrangement, there's going to be a version of this in the key of C as well. Now, a couple of the things you can do here with keys. I've got these two keys now, but I can't really tell them apart. Which one is the main one? Well, I'm going to go to D, and I'm going to click the pencil, and I'm going to add a description. And I'm going to say original. That's the original one. And then I'm going to go into C, and I'm going to say, well, this is Aaron's key. This is the one that I especially like. Aaron's key, enter. And you can put whatever you want there to make it easier when you're choosing this song to try to remember which key does so-and-so like to do it in, or which is the one that I like. You can add key descriptions there. Now, the other thing that's nice is this was transposed to C. If I edit this key of C, and let's just do something weird, and let's just say there's also a capo. There's a capo 1 in B, and let's add another capo 3 in A. We added those there. We automatically have 3 chord charts now on this. The original one in C and those 2 different capo chord charts. If I click on that, you're going to see this chord chart that I made. It's going to say that it's capo 3, and it's going to have the chords in that particular key for your acoustic guitar player or anybody else who likes capo versions to play. Let's go back to our songs index page, and we're going to talk a little bit about filtering here. So if you go to the filter menu here, first of all, we're going to see we have 172 songs right now that are showing. I can filter by a lot of stuff. Let's filter by some musical attributes. So let's filter to just the songs that are in the key of D. Now I'm down to 28 songs. I can filter by songs that are within a certain beats per minute, that are a certain meter. I can search for songs based on content. Let's say just the songs that have grace in their lyrics. I can hit enter there, and now I'm down to just 5 songs in D with the word grace in the lyrics. There's different, you can search based on the history when you've done those songs. But what if you want to search on some custom attributes that aren't one of these? Well, that is what tags are for. Tags are a way to add a tag to any song in your account so that you can then find and group those songs together. So from this tags filter bar, I'm going to click this little edit tags button down here and just show you that I have song tags already created. I've created a tag for ministry, like what ministry this song is going to be done in, high school or Celebrate Recovery or, the main service, whatever you want to add there. I also have a tag group called season. I want to know which songs are Christmas songs, which ones are Easter songs, which ones are other songs like that, or what type of song it is. We also have arrangement tags. These are tags that you can have a different tag for each arrangement of the song. For instance, speed. That acoustic version that I just made, that was slow, but the regular version was kind of medium. So each arrangement has a different tag. So this is an arrangement tag, not a song tag. So this is where you can edit all of those tags. When I go back to the songs page, let's go and open my filter menu again. And let's filter to songs in the key of D. And let's go over to my tags. And let's filter by fast or medium. So now I am finding 15 songs that are either fast or medium and that start in the key of D. Now, these filters can be applied in many different ways. And so you're going to notice down here that I have Joy to the World showing as one of my songs here. I don't want that always showing. I kind of don't want my Christmas songs showing right now because I want just my regular songs. Well, that's where this season filter comes in. And I can say, actually, I only want to see songs with no season, just the non-seasonal songs. So I'm going to click none. And that automatically just chooses not Easter, Christmas, or patriotic. And now I've filtered out Joy to the World and another one that was a Christmas song. Now, if you are constantly applying filters and kind of want a default filter, I want this non-seasonal to be kind of a default filter. I don't want to have to keep applying this. I'm going to click on this filter, and I'm going to click the pin button down here. And this is going to keep that filter applied all the time. So when I come back to this page, it's going to show me my non-seasonal songs. I'm going to click on these other ones and just delete them off of here. Click, delete on my keyboard. And now I'm back to just my non-seasonal songs. And I can even say my non-seasonal worship choruses. And I can even pin this. And now I've got sort of like a default filter. Non-seasonal worship choruses. These are the songs that I kind of want to be browsing through all the time. When it's time for Christmas, I can just go to this season filter and say, show me the Christmas songs only. And there it is. And here are the 7 active songs that I have that are Christmas songs in this demo org. So this is a great way using pinned filters to have multiple libraries. Now, what have you just learned about this seasonal thing or how to tag your songs with fast, medium, slow, whatever, but you've got a whole library and you want to tag? Well, we can do that with bulk editing. So first, I'm going to remove these filters so that I can see all of my songs. And now I can go to this pencil icon, bulk edit, and I want to bulk edit my song arrangements and add some speed to them. So I'm now going to see all of those song arrangements, and I can bulk select any of the arrangements that I might be like, okay, these are all going to be, let's just say, slow. So I've chosen these 5. I can say bulk edit, add tags, slow, great. And then I can update those 5 and it will apply those tags to all of those songs quickly. On the songs page, we also have song reports available with this reporting button up here where you can see how often your files were used, how often the songs were used. If you're using the rehearsal license from CCLI, this can give you a report for that and some other things that are here as well. The last thing that I'm going to talk about here is a different kind of tag. We just talked about song and arrangement tags to help organize your songs. Your songs have files in them. And what if you have a lot of files? Well, the best way to organize those files is by using file tags. You can say, this file is of this type and this file is of this type by adding tags. So when we go back to our songs page up here on the gear, this is another quick way to get to our tags editing screen. We'll go to edit tags here. Not song tags, not arrangement, media people, but file tags. Here are the different tags we want to apply to different files. So I've got capo charts, regular chord charts, lyrics. Maybe we have separate rhythm charts that we want to organize separately. At this church, we've got an orchestra. And so for every piece of music, there's a flute music, oboe, bassoon, violin. There's going to be 20 to 30 files for every single song. So first of all, organizing them by tagging them with files is great, but what's even better is you can then use these tags so that each of those people only see the files that are meant for them. We hide files that are not for you. So, for instance, we've got this flute file tag. When I upload a file that is a flute file, we apply the flute tag to it. Then what we'll do is we'll go to our orchestra. So I'm going to click this little search icon at the top. This is the fastest way to get almost anywhere. I'm going to type the name of a team. Orchestra, here it is. Let's go straight to my orchestra team. And now let's look down here at flute. And the flute has been linked for file visibility. What files can flute see? They can see any file that doesn't have a tag at all, or any files that have a flute tag applied to it. That means when a flute player logs in, they're not going to see the clarinet, the bassoon, the French horn, the oboe. It's a lot of files, and it makes it hard for them to see what's for them. So this is a way to change the file visibility for each person based on the tags. There's a couple of other steps that you have to do. You have to enable this feature for your service type. So in the contemporary service where this orchestra exists, I can click this little link right up here at the top to get to that. And I can go to my settings for the contemporary service. And now here's where I can say limited file visibility enabled. What this means is it's going to be hiding files for people in the contemporary service based off of those file tags that we just used. So oboe players, not going to see the flute files. You might have a separate file for the alto, the tenor, the soprano vocal parts. You might not have an orchestra, but you might have vocal parts. Or you might have a lot of different chord charts and you want to just show the people the ones that are for them. You can use file visibility to do that. I've got two more short little things to show you. The first one is templates. If you're going to be redoing the same thing over and over again, you don't really want to do that. You would rather put something in a template so that you can reuse that template over and over again. Now, I showed you that already when scheduling. We had our all teams template so that when you made a plan, a whole bunch of people were already scheduled to it. But I've made a template for when we do communion at this church. So let's actually go back to our contemporary service here. And instead of going into a plan, I'm going to go over here to the gear. And I'm going to switch over to my templates for the contemporary service. And here's where I see all of these templates. And many people can all make their own templates. I have made this communion template. Let's click on it to go into it. It looks kind of like a plan once we get in there. And when we do communion, I always have a header, the setup, a song that will pick a song once it comes time, and then a prayer at the end. So I don't want to have to remember these things, so I put it into a template. Now let's go into a plan. So I'm going to hover over my plans menu, and because I was recently in this February 18th, there's a shortcut to get right to it. Let's just click right there. I am in this February 18th plan. If I want to make this a communion plan, I can go up here to where I add items to the service, but instead of adding an item, I want to import an entire template. So let's click Import Template. I'm going to choose this communion template, and I want to include all the items in that communion template, and I want to import it to this plan. Let's submit. And all 4 of those items get copied from the end of that template into this particular plan so that I don't have to remember those specific things. You can import templates as many times as you want to. They are not linked. So if I go and make a change to my communion template, it's not going to change this plan. It's a one-time import action, but you can import the communion template, and then somebody else can import the hospitality template, and then somebody else can import the whatever other template. You can do those at any time, not just when you create a plan. Before you go, I just want to show you my favorite thing. I briefly touched on it, but it is shortcut keys. Shortcut keys are one of the fastest ways to do so many things. I already talked about how you can move your mouse over the service order and hit I to add an item or S to add a song, but you can use shortcut keys for almost anything. To figure out what they are, when you're on any page, just type ? On your keyboard, and a keyboard shortcuts menu is going to show up. Look at this. Songbook PDF is B, probably for book, E for email, F for file. Well, let's try some of those. If I close this and I hit B, there's the songbook modal. If I hit E, it automatically opens up the email modal. So many things on so many pages. One of my favorite ones is most things can be deleted or removed by hovering over it and typing X on your keyboard. So if I hover over this communion header and I hit X, delete this item, and then I can just hit yes, because that yes, I can just type enter. Ooh, that is a nice fast way to delete a whole bunch of things from the plan, to delete a whole bunch of people from a plan, to delete a whole bunch of team members from a list. It works in a lot of places, that X shortcut key, to get rid of things. And then my last favorite shortcut key is the /. The / is right underneath the question mark. That / opens our universal search at the top there. And that is where you can type the name of a song, of a person, of a team, almost anything, and it will take you right to that page without having to navigate it. That / goes right to the search. Well, that is a lot of information that we covered on worship planning, because there's a lot that you can do. So don't get overwhelmed. Just try one other thing. Search through our help documents. Find the thing that you want to do and learn how to do that next thing. Feel free to send this video on to anybody else who you think might find it helpful, or watch it again from planningcenter.com/university.